it's Angie and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I want to show you all the beads I put on my OHM Beads bracelet to represent my theme of Breaking Bad. So if you have seen that show, you'll understand all my choices, but I will try to explain them here for you. So the theme of the show is a teacher gets together with a former student and they end up cooking in an RV out in the desert so that he can make some money to support his family as he's dying of cancer, and he wants to make sure they are covered when he is gone because his cancer treatments cost so much. So it's a really great show and I'm sure many of you have seen it. So I was compelled to make this bracelet to honor that show and also feature this fantastic centerpiece bead, which is beautiful Lapis Lazuli, which I will show you in a second. So let's get started and I will show you all the beads that I chose and why. So I did start with an OHM Beads Snap Clasp bracelet. This is a pretty traditional snake chain bracelet, but I just love it, and I love the little clasp and the little OHM logo on there. There are no clip stations on this bracelet, which is really nice because then you can just add your locks where you want them, and you have a lot more flexibility on how you want to design your bracelet. The first thing I have on here is a lock, and the really nice thing about OHM Beads locks is they have this sort of puzzle piece clasp, so they have a double system of snapping together and then also have this lock on top, so they're very secure and I really love them for that. And I did choose the bare ones because they go with everything, so it doesn't matter what my design is. So the first bead I have on here is called Camper, and it's this adorable little camper, and this represents the Winnebago or mobile home that Walter and Jesse use as their portable lab, and they drive out in the desert so they won't be detected, and they in this converted Winnebago. So that's why I chose camper, because that's a pretty big part of the show, their life in the camper, so it's kind of funny. I love it. And the next bead is called Drops of Life, and this is just a fantastic dark oxidized bead with a nice bail and these 3 drops of blood. And if you have seen the show, it is quite graphic in terms of the violence, and there is a lot of bloodshed over this territory, so that's why that one is in there. The next bead is called Trainwreck, and this is such a fantastic bead. It's so clever. It's like a train engine, and then all the cars and the caboose kind of all crumpled in a bit of a train wreck. Once again, if you've seen the show, it's, I mean, just a series of very difficult situations, and it's a bit of a train wreck, and Walter's life is a bit of a train wreck, so I thought this was really fitting and just a really cool bead to add. The next bead I have is called Overreacting, and this is an Erlenmeyer flask, which of course is from chemistry class. And because Walter and Jesse use all kinds of equipment, and because Walter is a teacher, that kind of figures into it. So this was a perfect representation of Walter as the chemistry teacher and also the cooking that they do. Then I wanted a little bit of movement on my bracelet, so I have a couple dangles on here, and this one is called Shroom, and this just represents the psychedelic effects of what Walter and Jesse are making and selling. The next bead is this little spacer called Be Counted, and it's really cute because the little counters do move. You can move them along, and I use this to represent all the money that they make. And then I have this beautiful owl who is called Whooo Has Class, and this just represents that Walter is a teacher. Then my centerpiece is this Lapis Lazuli, which is absolutely gorgeous. It's just got this amazing cut on it, and this is my centerpiece because it represents the blue that they produce, which is their specialty, and it's just a one-of-a-kind bead. It's just absolutely gorgeous, little flecks of gold in there, and this is the only one that you cannot still get because this was a special project called Beadmail from OHM Beads, and only the people who signed up for the project were able to get one of these beads. So it's also very special and very unique. And the next bead is called Barista Buddy, and this is just the sweetest little chipmunk who has a coffee. But right from the get-go when I saw this, and this kind of gave me the idea to do this bracelet, and he has this really cute little felt fedora on, which reminds me of Heisenberg's hat, and it did make me think of Walter and Heisenberg, so I think he's really, really cute. The next bead I have on here is called Vicious Vapors, and this is a bottle of poisonous gas, and this just represents some of the episodes where, you know, there are creative ways of doing away with people. And after that we have another spacer. This is called Another Variant and is the DNA representation, and I just have this on here because it balances my other spacer Be Counted, and then it's also sort of, you know, a little sciencey. And for that same reason I have this one called Atomic, which is really cool. Another kind of science themed bead. The next little bead I have on here is called Cranium, and as you can see, it's a very angry looking skull, and this represents the demise of one of the characters in the show, and also because there is quite a large body count in this show, so it represents all the people who are done away with during the course of the series. And then I have Metal Dude, and this is an Omen Australia exclusive, and so I have this guy on here to represent how the characters have to guard their territory. So I just think this is so fun. I think all the beads really represent the show very well, and I love making use of all these fantastic ohm beads. And so thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed seeing the beads I chose to represent one of my favorite shows, Breaking Bad, and had fun seeing why I chose them. And if you want any of these beads that are still available, you can check them out at ohmbeads.com.